The government has accepted the new definition of anti-Semitism, the IHRA definition. The National Union of Students accepts it. The Labour Party accepts it. Jeremy Corbyn accepts it. You don't. The definition says that to bracket Jews and Nazis is anti-Semitic. The definition says that to call Israel a racist state is anti-Semitic. Why do you insist on not accepting that definition? At the Labour Party conference, you said you can't find a definition you can work with. That is a definition you can work with. How can you call yourself, Jackie Walker, an anti-racist when you do not accept the most commonly accepted definition of anti-Semitism? And while we're on the subject of the Al Jazeera program, it was pure Viagra for anti-Semites. It was a disgrace. 4 complaints have gone into Ofcom. Let's see what happens. That's the question. How can you call yourself an anti-racist when you don't accept the definition of anti-Semitism?
I think that's a really useful question. And can I just say, thank you very much for coming. Because mostly people like you don't come. What they do is stand outside and stop other people coming. What they do mostly is write to people who want to organise arenas for people to enter into dialogue. So I think we should be very careful to protect freedom of speech, because that is really important. Now, to go on to what, I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but anyway, what you've just said. I've been an anti-racist campaigner, I think probably all my life, because, you know, landing in Britain in 1959, you couldn't help but be some kind of campaigner against racism. Otherwise, you would never have actually survived. Now, if we look at this new definition, look, I actually listened to you with respect. I'm going to say this once more. It would be really nice if people who hold your views, A, came and entered into a dialogue and then treated me with some respect. Now, there is nothing wrong with the, if you like, the body of the part of the definition of anti-Semitism. And actually, that's just a ridiculous comment about what I said at the Labour Party conference, because what I was talking about was the fact that the trainer had avoided answering 2 or 3 questions before me that asked for a definition. And he did so quite rightly, because he knew that the conflation between anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism would cause him problems. Of course there are definitions I can work with. I like to stick to really simple definitions. I think anti-Semitism is hatred of Jews because they are Jewish. It has nothing to do with the Israeli state. Now, I'm going to go on from that, and I'm going to say something really clear. And I'm sure people will be listening to this one. I do not accept your premise that Israel is not a racist state. As a non-Jew, you cannot buy land anywhere you like. You cannot use any roads. If I'm in a hospital and I'm a Jew, I can choose whether I share that area with non-Jews or not. If you look at any definition of racism or apartheid, you might be very well informed on that. I have definitions, I have very good definitions that I can work with. And just because you can give me a big long list of all the people who agree with it, I think this is something that Chomsky is absolutely telling us and saying it clearly. It doesn't matter how much harassment, how much vilification, how much abuse you send to me. I will never accept that Israel is a necessary part of my identity as a Jew. And do you see the way, I want you to know, do you hear that? Now this is a typical way of responding. He says, I am not a Jew. Because of course, these people believed, just like the Nazis, that they had the ability to define who is a Jew or not. I want to remind people that our hard fought for vocabulary of liberation names the person as being the one who claims what their identity is, not a state and not you.